Something special happens when you marathon horror movies. On their own, slasher flicks like Friday the 13th or Halloween can seem like nothing more than bloody fun. But when you watch a bunch in a row, the connections and mythologies become much more apparent. Jason Voorhees shifts from a murderous demon into something more sympathetic. Some of them even feature previously on segments to make these links more obvious. These movies may not have been created with binge-watching in mind, but in many ways they benefit from it, which is part of what makes the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix so interesting. It was designed to be binged. All 3 entries, starting with Part 1 on July 2nd, will be released over the course of 3 weeks. It's a unique experiment with changing viewing habits, and one that feels uniquely suited to horror as a genre. The films are based loosely on the R.L. Stine books of the same name, following a town called Shadyside that's been haunted for centuries, cursed by periodic, and grisly, killings that have earned it a reputation as the murder capital of the U.S. The movies track this history across 3 time periods. Part 1 is set in 1994, followed by 1978 and 1666. Though they tell individual stories, they're all tightly connected to the Shadyside mythos. You'll definitely want to watch them in order. The 1994 movie starts, as many horror movies do, with a young woman being killed. From there, you learn that the town of Shadyside has long been haunted by a dead witch named Sarah Fier, pronounced Fier, naturally, and that, every so often, someone goes on a murderous rampage, apparently due to her influence. The vibe is sort of like Scream crossed with the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, as a group of misfit high school students work together to learn about fear and end the killings once and for all. You can get a sense of the first movie by watching the first 5 minutes here. It has all of the hallmarks of a slasher movie: inventively grisly deaths, single-minded killers that never give up, gratuitous sex scenes, but it's buoyed by the hint of a deeper mystery. I won't spoil anything, but the way the first movie connects to the sequels makes them ideal for close viewing. When I finished Part 1, I immediately had to know what happened next. And even though each one has a very different vibe, Part 2 takes place at a summer retreat reminiscent of Friday the 13th's Camp Crystal Lake, while the third goes back a few centuries to the early days of Shadyside. They all feel part of the same whole. According to Netflix, the 3 movies were filmed over a 108-day period in Atlanta, which was preceded by a month-long writer's room to nail down the story and the way it would connect each film. Everyone involved in production knew this was crazy. Leigh Janiak, who directed all 3 movies, explained in a statement,